Last night, Gina said, "I swear, after all these years, I'm beginning to see the actual contours of your capacity for worrying." "My mother's got nothing on you." "Come on. We had a good spring, and now we're in the money." "What is it that stresses you about a new, fully funded and expanded theater for the fall? We got King Lear in the fall. You keep expecting the other shoe to drop." True. And he had gone to bed determined to do better, had kissed her, murmured, "Night," and pulled the top sheet up over his shoulders, hearing the breezes outside, and appreciating that the spring season had indeed been successful. He fell asleep almost immediately, unlike the previous 5 nights, and slept deeply. But the pre-dawn hour had come with the sensation of having dreamed someone put a finger to the middle of his chest and then pushed him away, followed immediately by anxiety over the theater going dark through the whole summer season while the renovation and expansion took place. It had already been dark for 9 weeks. The renovation had at last begun after several delays, and it would be dark on into August. They would have a new theater, true, and the first production would be King Lear, the one play in the world he loved most. But a whole season was a long time. People might drift away. There were so many other things to do. Audiences could dwindle. The board hadn't included him in most of its decisions as the new circumstance unfolded. He had not even met the principals, and he was the theater manager. Not yet 5 o'clock. The moon was bright. From the bed, he saw tree shadows on the lawn outside the window. She slept peacefully at his side, though a train horn trailed across the dark like grief. He lay quiet and quite still. He had no memory of what had been in the dream that woke him. He drew a long breath and whispered the word he had lately taken to repeating, inwardly or aloud, like a sort of verbal amulet or charm. Ridiculous. Gina stirred now, turned, and put one arm over his chest, sighing. He breathed the fragrance of her hair. When she shifted again and snuggled with her back to him, he reached for his cell phone on the nightstand and looked at the day's news. A Norwegian cargo ship had sunk off the coast of Vietnam. 18 dead. "The first thing you do in the mornings," she had also said last night, "is look at the bad news on that phone. Leave the phone at least until you've had some time to collect yourself." But collecting himself meant worrying. He put the cell back down and, soundlessly as possible, rose from the bed. Anxiety was a natural enough response to the times, wasn't it? Well, he was a man approaching 40 with a profound, increasing sense of frailty and susceptibility. Ridiculous. His heart skipped a beat. He realized that was what had awakened him from whatever the dream was. She yawned and moaned. "Not yet. I'll wake you in half an hour." He padded downstairs, turning on lights as he went. Opening the front door on the cool, moonlit morning, he collected the Appeal from the front stoop. Nothing on the net would ever replace the morning paper. He was a man of certain set habits. He put coffee on and stood under the kitchen light, thinking of people going down in the South China Sea. He would drink the coffee and lose himself in the sports page. On the dining room table was a collage Gina had put together, made of articles that had appeared over the years. A picture history of the Shakespeare Theater of Memphis, from the years on Monroe Street through the move to the converted Cotton Exchange warehouse, where it presently was. And she had laced in snippets of the magazine bios of the 2 women, cosmetic tycoons, as members of the company now called them. who had given all the money for renovating the place. Thaddeus sat drinking the coffee and looking at the jigsaw fragments of photos in his wife's artful patchwork. They had met at City Stage on Monroe in its 4th year. He was the young assistant theater manager, and she was a staff member in set design. She was 3 years older, and sometimes teased him about that. Lately, because she had turned 40, she was 41 now, the teasing had gone the other way. Thaddeus would ask if she remembered when she was his age. She had kept her last name, Donato. They were Deerforth and Donato. She came downstairs as he was making more coffee. She had put on jeans and a muslin top he liked, and tied her straw-colored hair back in a ponytail. She took a cup down from the cabinet and held it out for him to pour. "Sorry I woke you," he said. "You didn't wake me, dear." They sat across from each other at the table. She looked at the collage. "Can't decide if I like this. I'm going to hang it at my office."